warmer weather coming up. TV2 has it all coming up.
Kent State dropped their COVID-19 testing requirements for unvaccinated students, faculty, and staff. More ahead on the decision and what it means moving forward.
Police have located a suspect involved in the shooting of 5 homeless men in Washington, D.C. and New York. We have more on the current investigation.
We can tell you what celebrity is spending less time in their multi-million-dollar mansion and more on the roads fixing potholes. All that and more as TV2 News starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
Good evening, Kent State and all of Portage County, and thank you so much for joining us for this Tuesday edition of TV2 News. I'm Maddy Haberberger.
And I'm Chris Abreu.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but this past weekend was Fake Patty's, and I was absolutely stunned by Kent State students' perseverance through that snow, through those freezing winds, and I am so over this winter weather.
Yeah, today wasn't too bad. Della, is the nice weather trend going to continue?
That's right. Hi, Portage County. I'm Della Fowler. We're here in front of the architecture building. I'm looking at downtown. What a beautiful night it is here. Now, what do we have to thank for this? The spring forward daylight saving time, of course. That's right. We sprung forward an hour, and now we have a lot more time to enjoy these beautiful temperatures that we have coming up right here in Kent. So we'll check out right now what's happening in Kent. You know, my little graphic has raindrops on it because 30 minutes ago it was raining and now it's beautifully sunny. That's Ohio for you, though. It'll change in an instant. 55 feels like 53 right now. Nothing too bad. Little bit of wind. We're rocking the wind-blown look. No problems there. We'll zoom out a little bit to northeast Ohio. Sandusky, Cleveland, and Ashtabula, upper 40s, sitting on the lake, little cooler. Nothing to worry about. Mansfield, Worcester, and Canton, all 58. They're twinning. Kenton, Youngstown, 55 and 56. It's a beautiful night here. Clear. Little cloudy, so the sun's not in your eyes too bad, nothing too bad. And we'll zoom out to all of our beautiful Buckeye State. Lima, Columbus, Athens sitting at those upper 60s. Hashtag lower 60s, not upper 60s, but it's okay, no worries. Akron and Steubenville, 56 and 59, it's beautiful. Little cooler on the lake, nothing too bad. And then as we go more south, it gets a little warmer. Dayton at 65 and Cincinnati at 66. Now, that's all we have time for now, but I will see you guys later in the studio to check out these beautiful temperatures coming up next week. Maybe even 70s? For TV2 News, I'm Della Fowler.
Thanks, Della, for that report. Now, new guidance coming from the university today on COVID testing.
That's right. Our Nuried Hurtado joins us at the desk now with updates. Hi, Nuried.
Hi, guys. Thank you. That's right. Kent State sent an email to all students with all the information about updates on how the university will be dealing with the COVID-19 virus and spring break coming up. The number of cases reported on all Kent State campuses for the past 2 weeks, ending March 12th, have been only 23, fewer than 2 per day for a community of about 40,000 students, faculty, and staff. Universities saw a consistent decrease in COVID-19 cases, with the last week recording the lowest number since the beginning of the academic year. Based on the decrease on the number of new cases, Kent State announced that they will not require weekly COVID-19 testing for unvaccinated students, faculty, and staff until further notice. They will re-evaluate if cases number increase insignificantly. However, COVID-19 testing is still available on all Kent State campuses. The DeWitt Health Center is available for those experiencing COVID-19 symptoms, and the Visit Healthcare location on Eastway Lounge in Kent campus is available for walk-in testing. At-home test kits will continue being distributed among 8 campuses. Kent State University recommends and highly encourages students to get tested and get a booster shot in case they are eligible before leaving for a spring break. Booster shots are available at the DeWitt Health Center on the Kent campus and at many other locations throughout the state. Once you get the booster shot, university is asking to update your vaccination status. So far, university has been doing everything they can to keep the Kent State community safe and healthy. They asked to work together to ensure success through a spring break and the end of the semester. For TV2 News, I'm Nuried Hurtado.
Thanks for that report, Nuried. Now, for the first time since 2019, the May 4th commemoration ceremonies will be held in person this spring. The annual event will continue the tradition of honoring the 4 students killed and 9 students wounded when the Ohio National Guard opened fire on students during an anti-war protest in 1970. The list of speakers and activities will be announced in the coming days and will take place on campus from May 1st through May 4th. For more information, visit the link at the bottom of your screen. And the Portage Area Regional Transportation Authority will receive a $1.5 million federal grant to upgrade its fleet. The money comes to PARTA as part of the U.S. Federal Transit Administration's Grant for Buses and Bus Facilities program, which allocated nearly $33 million to transit programs across Ohio. The grant will be used to replace, rehabilitate, and purchase PARTA buses and related equipment.
A Portage County judge ordered a $1.25 million bond for a man who allegedly held a Kent woman against her will and sexually assaulted her before stealing her minivan. If 38-year-old Stephen Widowson is released, he will be required to wear an electronic monitoring device to ensure he has no contact with the victim. Kent police said Widowson knew the woman and was allegedly at her apartment on March 2nd. They say the woman suffered injuries but could not give any further information at this time.
A year after a container ship got stuck in the Suez Canal, another ship from the same company is stuck, this time in the U.S.
Russia is moving its offensive further into Ukraine and closer to NATO. We have more updates on their attacks.
This is Portage County's TV2, broadcasting from the campus of Kent State University. Streaming online at kentwired.com.
Hope you all had a good weekend and are ready to be inspired. One quick thing I want to remind you guys to be studying.
Major key alert. Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Class, today we're talking about inspirational quotes.
You want to get that paper? You better turn in that paper and get an A+. That's a major key. Another one. Mogul talk. You want to reach the mountaintop? You got to go hard. To succeed, you have to believe. Stay focused. Fly higher than the eagle. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote from recent history?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
Being a dad can be tough.
When's the fairy princess coming?
Any minute now. But it's always worth it.
I know it's really you, Abreu. I'm just pretending for the other kids.
Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Thanks for sticking with us. As the Russian attacks on Ukraine continue, trade between nations has only gotten more complicated.
That's right. TV2's own Kennedy Webb-Glenn can tell you more on the newest sanctions in place against Russia. Hi, Kennedy.
Thank you, guys. The ongoing tensions in Eastern Europe and new COVID-19 surges in Asia are impacting trade around the world. Today, the United States applied new sanctions on Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko, who has decided to ally with Russia in its war on Ukraine. The Biden administration has also targeted new sanctions at 11 Russian military leaders who are presumed to be involved in suppressing Russian protesters and hidden away in occupied areas of Ukraine. These targeted sanctions are also in response to alleged human rights abuse. The Russian Foreign Ministry announced today that they are imposing sanctions on more than a dozen Americans, including President Joe Biden and at least 12 other leaders. They are retaliating for the Biden administration's sweeping economic penalties targeting Russian entities over the invasion of Ukraine. Russia has even sanctioned Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden. Under the sanctions, the American officials are not permitted to enter Russia, and any Russian assets have been frozen. There is a surge in Omicron variant infections, which has caused Chinese authorities to lock down residents, close factories, and stop truck traffic. This is leaving a dent in already frayed supply chains, as China is home to about 1/3 of global manufacturing. The lockdowns are causing further disruption to the supply of goods, including cars and iPhones. The outbreak is also impacting Chinese factory and transportation networks that are crucial for China's manufacturing economy. Efforts are underway Monday to refloat a container vessel that ran aground in the Maryland portion of Chesapeake Bay. There have been no reports of injury, pollution, or damage to the 1,000-foot ship. The ship grounded Sunday evening. The ever-forward ship is also not obstructing traffic in a nearby channel. The ship is headed towards Norfolk, Virginia. Evergreen Marine also owns the Ever Given, which became stuck in the Suez Canal in 2021. This event has caused problems for global shipping. I have been Kennedy Webb-Glenn reporting from Franklin Hall. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Kennedy. Russia is expanding its offensive to the western part of Ukraine and striking regions closer to the NATO member territory.
All while Russia denies reports that it asked China for assistance. Chris Wynn is tracking all the developments.
Chaos and devastation as Russia intensifies its assault on Ukraine. Russian missiles hit a large military base near the western city of Lviv, killing at least 35 people and leaving more than 130 injured, according to local authorities. The attack not far from Poland, drawing the war even closer to the borders of a NATO country. Russian forces also opening fire on 2 American journalists, killing one while wounding the other, according to Kyiv police.
We crossed a checkpoint and they start shooting at us. So the driver turned around and they kept shooting.
In Kyiv, there have been heavy explosions and multiple casualties after authorities say a residential building in the Ukrainian capital was hit by shelling.
Sick kids fleeing on makeshift medical trains. The unthinkable bombing of a maternity ward. Parents weeping over their children's broken bodies in the streets.
U.S. officials say Russia has asked China for military support, including drones, as well as economic assistance. Both countries deny the request was made.
We will not stand by and allow any country to compensate Russia for its losses from the economic sanctions.
Meanwhile, the 4th round of talks between Ukraine and Russia were put on hold until Tuesday. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will give a virtual address to Congress on Wednesday. In Washington, I'm Chris Wynn reporting.
3 journalists, including 2 Americans, have been killed reporting in Ukraine in the last 2 days. Yesterday's attack on a Fox News crew reporting near the capital city Kyiv killed longtime photojournalist Pierre Zakshevsky and Alexandra Kushinova, a Ukrainian journalist. Award-winning American documentarian Brent Reynaud was killed in an attack on Sunday that also injured photojournalist Juan Arredondo.
Police observed a 38-year-old male Hispanic with a gunshot wound to his right forearm. A preliminary investigation determined that this victim, who was apparently homeless, was sleeping at the time when an unknown individual approached him and discharged a firearm, striking him.
A man suspected of shooting 5 homeless people in Washington, D.C. and New York was arrested earlier today. Metropolitan Police say 2 of the victims were killed, including a man who was found inside of a burning tent in Washington, D.C. Washington's Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Division, or ATF, is currently interviewing the suspect. The ATF says charges are pending and likely to come out soon.
62 years later, authorities in Arizona have discovered the identity of Little Miss Nobody, a young girl whose remains were found in an Arizona desert in 1960. 4-year-old Sharon Lee Gallegos was abducted from her home in New Mexico 10 days before her body was found on July 31, 1960. After decades of investigation into the murder, her remains were exhumed in 2018 so DNA samples could be taken. The Prescott County Sheriff's Office raised money to fund specialized testing to identify Sharon.
Hello again. Portage County is getting closer and closer to spring break, and that means time off and warmer temperatures. First, we'll look at our live radar, though. You know, before spring has to happen, we have to have a little bit of rain. We have a little system of rain passing through here. However, looks like most of it has already hit us, so there's really no reason to worry there. So now we will take it to these warm next couple of weekdays. So on Wednesday, it will be 67 and sunny. St. Patrick's Day, Thursday, partly cloudy, but 69 degrees, almost at the 70 degrees part. And then we have 70% chance of rain on Friday. 53, however, it'll be super warm. There shouldn't really be anything to worry about there. I wouldn't say get rid of your coats entirely, but maybe put them in the closet for a little bit and pull out a raincoat or an umbrella instead. And we'll take it now to our 7-day forecast. So, like I said, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we already went over that. Saturday, 80% chance of rain. It can't all be great, so we have to deal with a little bit of rain on Saturday. Nothing too bad, though. Just bring your umbrella and you'll be okay. Then partly cloudy on Sunday. It's going to be great though, because it will be 57, low of 35. So it'll be super warm, and we are getting into more temperatures where almost every day is going to be like this. It's so exciting. And then on Monday, partly cloudy again, and Tuesday, 40% chance of rain. So throw your umbrella in your backpack after you're done with your weekend plans. For TV2 News, I'm Della Fowler. That's all I have for now. Have a great night, Portage County.
Thanks, Della. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine signed the constitutional carry measure yesterday, which will make a concealed weapons permit optional for anyone legally allowed to carry a gun. Individuals are also no longer required to promptly notify police officers that they are carrying a weapon. The bill will take effect 90 days after DeWine's signing. Ohio becomes one of 21 states that allows people to carry a concealed weapon without a license.
All parties responsible for Ohio's congressional map-making process appeared in court yesterday, so the courts could decide if they need to intervene. The plaintiffs in the case are all Republican voters asking the court to take action and choose a redistricting map that can be used for the May 3rd primary. However, the Ohio Supreme Court is currently reviewing a third map after the commission failed to pass two others. If the third map is passed, the plaintiffs say they will drop the case.
Madness begins tonight. I'll have previews and predictions when TV2 News returns.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Being a dad can be tough.
When's the fairy princess coming?
Any minute now. But it's always worth it.
I know it's really you, Abreu. I'm just pretending for the other kids.
Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
And now, your TV2 Sports Report.
And welcome back to TV2 News. I'm Jack Berney with your TV2 Sports Report. We have a lot to get to with March Madness and Cavaliers basketball, but we start right here with what's going on around Kent State athletics. Yesterday, NFL scouts traveled to the Kent State Fieldhouse for Kent State football's annual Pro Day. Quarterback Dustin Crum, wide receivers Keyshawn Abram and Nykeem Johnson, tight end Aaron Hackett, defensive backs Elvis Hines and KJ Sherrill, defensive tackle Jabbar Price, and linebacker Manny Lawrence Burke all participated in a number of drills to try and impress NFL scouts ahead of next month's draft. Now, Crum threw a full route tree but only participated in throwing drills due to his participation in the NFL Scouting Combine last week. The NFL Draft will take place April 28th through the 30th. From the gridiron to the diamond is Kent State right-handed pitcher Richie Dell was named the Mid-American Conference's Pitcher of the Week. Dell was phenomenal on opening day against Central Michigan, throwing a complete game 2-hit shutout and striking out 8 batters. Dell and the Golden Flashes will be back in action this weekend against the Ohio Bobcats. And the Cavs were in action last night against the Clippers. The team desperately needed a win to hang on to the 6th spot in the Eastern Conference standings. Without further ado, let's go to Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse and take a look at last night's action. As you can see, there's Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, Cavs, Clippers last night. We're going to pick things up in the first quarter here. Isaac Okoro is going to kick it out to Evan Mobley. Mobley knocks down the three. Mobley had a career-high 30 points on the night, more from the Cavs in the first quarter. Kevin Love is going to knock down that three, and he's going to hit the Michael Jordan shrug, probably wondering, why was I so open? But here come the Clippers. Brandon Boston Jr. gets the one-handed slam, and then Terrence Mann's going to slam it with 2 hands, and this game is coming right down to the wire, but Darius Garland's going to break a 100-100 tie right there with the floater, but this game would go into overtime, and in overtime, Garland lobs it to Evan Mobley, and he's going to throw it down with 2 hands to extend the Cavs' lead to 4, and then once again, Darius Garland, the all-star point guard, knocks down the 3. The Cavs can smell victory, and Lauri Markkanen is going to hit the dagger. Cavs win 120-111, big win for the Cavs. And from the NBA to college hoops, now I know that it is often said that the holiday season is the most wonderful time of the year. But for basketball fans, now is the most wonderful time of the year. March Madness. The madness begins tonight with 2 of the first 4 games taking place in Dayton, Ohio. The round of 64 will tip off on Thursday. Now, don't worry if you haven't filled out your bracket yet. I am here to help you. I'm going to tell you which teams will make the Final Four and who will be cutting down the nets. Let's get right to it. On one side of the bracket, I've got the #1 overall seed Gonzaga Bulldogs facing off against the #3 seed Purdue Boilermakers. I think this duo of Drew Timme and Chet Holmgren will be too much for Purdue, and Gonzaga makes a repeat trip to the championship game. On the other side of the bracket, it's a battle of 2 seeds between the Villanova Wildcats and the Auburn Tigers. I'm going to go with the Wildcats in that matchup. That brings us to the championship game, and I'm going to pick Villanova over Gonzaga for one reason. Free throws. The Wildcats are the top free throw shooting team in the country, and in March Madness, you've got to be smooth at the free throw line if you want to be the last team standing. For up-to-the-minute updates on all things Kent State athletics, follow us on Twitter at TV2KSU Sports. I've been Jack Berney with sports. Stay classy, Portage County.
Not only can he sing, but he can also fix potholes. More on Rod Stewart's new hobby after the break.
Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now. No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Survival, have a good time. Planting seeds of inspiration to motivate some magic. To change the writing on the wall, writing on the wall. And make a difference. One book can inspire a child. One book can be the first thing that helps to change a life. People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is TV2 News, truly Portage County.
Welcome back. Today is Equal Pay Day, a marker symbolizing how far into the year women must work to earn what men earned in the previous year.
That's right. The National Committee for Pay Equity created the day back in 1996 to raise public awareness of the gender wage gap. Women, on average, earn 83 cents for every dollar earned by a man, and that disparity is even greater for women of color.
Singer Rod Stewart, who's known for his gravelly voice, is now shoveling gravel to fix potholes on his road.
That's right. He posted a video of it, and the internet just can't get enough. CNN's Gene Mose reports.
Instead of clutching a microphone, Rod Stewart is gripping a shovel.
I'm repairing the street where I live, because no one can bother to do it.
Instead of lounging at his multi-million-dollar mansion in Essex County, England, he's fixing potholes in the road that leads to it.
And the other day there was an ambulance with a burst tyre. My Ferrari can't go through here at all.
His Ferrari driven away by potholes? No wonder fans are changing the lyrics to Rod's song. The first cut is the deepest. Has become the first rut is the deepest. Social media is awash in both praise, well done, Rod, you are a legend, and mockery. From his shoes, incorrect footwear, to his pothole repair technique. What they're doing won't last 5 minutes. People are inviting Stewart to come fix their potholes.
Me and the boys thought we'd come do it ourselves.
Rod captioned the videos he posted, "Filling holes is good for the soul." The souls at the Essex Highway Department told CNN they had to prioritize where to spend scarce resources. While we appreciate Sir Rod's commitment, we discourage anyone from carrying out work on the roads themselves. Residents are putting themselves and others at risk. We can only imagine Sir Rod's reply to that potshot.
Ain't nobody gonna stop us now.
Jeannie Most, CNN, New York.
The Queen of Country is bowing out of her nomination for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Dolly Parton was one of 17 singers or music groups nominated for the honor this year. In a statement, Dolly said, quote, "Even though I am extremely flattered and grateful to be nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I don't feel that I have earned that right. I really do not want votes to be split because of me, so I must respectfully bow out." She said she hopes she'll have the chance to be considered in the future once she releases a rock and roll album. That breaks my heart. Dolly Parton has quite the resume. We were just looking her up earlier. 11 Grammy nominations, 50 total. I think she's beloved by every person in the world.
No, yeah, and I'm ashamed to say that I am not big enough of a Dolly Parton fan, and maybe today I'll become one because of it. But the first song that popped into my head was definitely Jolene.
Yeah. We were talking about this earlier. Chris did not know this. Many people don't. Dolly Parton actually wrote I Will Always Love You.
Yeah, that's
popularized
actually
by
crazy.
Whitney Houston. Dolly Parton is cranking out bangers since like the 1960s. You can't name one bad Dolly Parton song. She's incredible, and she's a good person. See, if Dolly Parton doesn't look at herself and think I deserve to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I don't know what the woman's thinking, because I don't think I could name a better, more deserving person.
She wants to make a rock album?
She said her husband is like a rock and roll freak, like he loves it. So she said, he wants me to make a rock and roll album, so maybe I'll make one, and maybe one day they'll consider me again. I think she should be put in right now.
Does her husband do music?
I don't know. I think the two of them are just ruling the world behind the scenes, just making good and making music. If Dolly Parton releases it, I'll listen. That's all I'll say. I don't care if it's rock. I don't care if it's country. I think her country stuff deserves to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame too.
The next one that came to mind was 9 to 5. Love 9 to 5.
Yeah. They're all so good. We could talk about Dolly Parton all day, but that is all we have for you on this Tuesday evening. Thank you so much for joining us.
When TV2's off the air, stay up to date on KentWired.com and on socials at KentWired. I'm Chris Abreu.
And I'm Maddy Haberberger. Have a great night, Portage County.
To Maddy, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
I rescued Toast from a shelter in 2011. I love Toast because she's a lazy diva. Toast does whatever she wants, obviously. She's sleeping right now. She's an epic snuggler. She's so comforting. She's so loving. Toast makes me laugh. When I walked into the shelter, I knew right then that she was special.
We might root for different teams, but we all respect the game. And we can all root for each other when we wear a mask. Mask up, America.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.